And so we've been in the beautiful Salzkammergut region of Austria for about a week now, but I think it's about time we finally address the Hallstatt in the room. And so this is Hallstatt, an ancient salt mining town that is unfortunately far too Instagram famous for its own good, and why I don't really recommend that you come here. And each year, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people flock here to Hallstatt to take the same Instagram photo. The sort of photo you're no doubt familiar with, even if you didn't know it was Hallstatt. Perhaps you even saw it on your Amazon Alexa. And I wish I could tell you that people flock here to experience the real Hallstatt, whatever that means anymore. Most people who come here don't even stay the night, barely frequenting the restaurants, never visiting the lofty salt mine, the oldest continuous running salt mine in the world. No, they barely savor Hallstatt itself at all, instead opting to be bussed in, walking on through, and then bussed back out. And it's tourism like that, the parasitic over-tourism, that's really ruining this historic little village. You can see the scars of this everywhere. From the, I'm just gonna be straight with you, rather grotesque tour bus-sized parking lots on the outskirts of town, to the signs littering the jetties pleading with the tourists to remember that these are people's homes. And that sign's right. It is important to remember that this isn't a living history museum. This is just living. People are supposed to live here. Since time immemorial, there have always been salt miners in Hallstatt. It's just one of those constants of the planet. They didn't choose to live in Disneyland. That came and chose them. Disclaimer, I am not calling out any particular group of people as causing this problem, and you shouldn't either. We're all sinking Hallstatt, and to pretend that this is all the Chinese's fault, as I've so often heard, is not only blatantly racist, but frankly, just wrong as well. This video was shot during heavy international travel restrictions, and the village was still running ragged over max capacity. Everyone wants to come here, and it can only be solved if everyone calms down just a little and spreads the tourism around. And look, I totally get why you'd want to come here. I can completely empathize with that. But if you do, try your hardest to be a good, conscientious traveler. Perhaps you could get here by train to the station across the water and take the ferry both ways back across to really help support the local businesses and infrastructure. Stay for a night or two in one of the local hotels. Pay for quality food and support those chefs. Visit the salt mine. Just really do anything. Go on the paths, dig deep into this place and not just walk in, walk out. But even then, when it's all said and done, I can't even really recommend that wholeheartedly. What I really think you should do is perhaps give it a pass and instead go to one of the many other wonderful places in the Salzkammergut that just aren't getting the tourism that they deserve. Because the Salzkammergut itself is just a complete joy, a fantastic and special place with so many different lakes, towns, trails and more. It's just so much more than Hallstatt alone. Over the past week, I've still only barely scratched the surface and I haven't even visited half of the lakes. Taking the mountain train up the Schafberg, hiking the Miesweg, and even just driving some of those mountain roads, and of course supporting as many locally owned businesses as I can along the way. In my eyes, there's barely a minute to spare in such wonderful country. Instead, try and go out there and spread the tourism around. Find some new photos to take, photos that you haven't quite seen before, because this is your vacation, not Instagram's. But also, don't get me twisted. I'm not trying to say anyone shouldn't have fun here, shouldn't enjoy it, or yuck anyone's yums, or ruin any memories. No, not at all. I've even been to Hallstatt before in the off-season during the winter to try to enjoy it for myself, and it is a wonderful place. I just want to be honest about what it really is, how it's more than an Instagram spot, and how because there are so many people looking for that, it's just far less enjoyable for everybody now. In fact, you can even tell while we've been filming this afternoon that as the sun finally started going down and the day trippers all started going going home, perhaps the people who are staying overnight finally can get a modicum of peace. It's gotten a little nicer. Still not great, but it's a little bit better. But instead of just leaving you on that vague and incredibly unhelpful platitude, while I put my camera down, I'm going to leave you with a highlight reel of all of the best things that we've experienced so far in the Salzkammergut series. Things to help inspire you and get you to spread the tourism around. But thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the whole series. I know I have, and I'll see you all again next time.